We're going to explore why it could be a good time for Horsham and Southwater landlords and first-time buyers to buy apartments. So a lot of people have been very aware of house price rises over the last year, which have exceeded 10%, whilst at the same time we've got this divergence in the market where apartments have really struggled, stagnated, or in some places dropped in price. There's a few reasons for this, and there's also a few reasons why this could be about to change rapidly, and that's why it's a really good time to be looking to enter the market if it's your first purchase or it's an investment flat. So one of the first things was availability of credit. Obviously, first response to COVID last year, a lot of lenders, well, all lenders immediately pulled their 5% deposit mortgages, pretty much all pulled their 10% deposit mortgages, and a lot even pulled their 15% deposit mortgages. So availability of finance for first-time buyers, not a lot had a big pot of cash sitting around to help them with their first purchase. Secondly, obviously, a lot of first-time buyers work in hospitality, retail and travel and tourism sectors. So they also found that their jobs were most negatively impacted by COVID, and so you've got this lack of availability of finance and job insecurity. And thirdly, another issue was around cladding. There were some unclear guidelines around what constituted unsafe cladding or not. So we found a lot of apartments that didn't even have cladding on being refused mortgages. So one of the first things is around cladding. So Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors changed their guidelines in April. So we're starting to see lenders much more comfortable lending on apartments again. Secondly, they've started doing 5% deposit mortgages again. The government have supported and backed those. So now we have the availability of finance to potentially first-time buyers. And of course, first-time buyers would naturally gravitate towards apartments. So this is going to increase demand. And the last thing is if you speak to a lot of first-time buyers or people that have been on furlough, a lot have actually got second jobs, like whether it's evening, weekend, or other day jobs. And so what we've seen is their ability to spend go down because they've not been able to go to nightclubs, bars, restaurants, or on holidays. But a lot have seen their incomes actually increase as well. And so their savings rate has gone up through the roof. And people in that demographic have been able to save more than they've ever been able to save before. So you've got this bizarre anomaly where actually the job insecurity and furlough has led to them having more money. But also those industries that I mentioned that have been most negatively impacted are starting to return to normal in a lot of instances and will be returning to normality soon, but they're also finding it really hard to recruit. So if you look at a lot of hospitality sectors, they're really struggling to get chefs and door staff. So we're going to see wage inflation in those areas as well. In fact, wage inflation was 5.6% in April. And if you look at actually sort of the supply of labour to those areas, we've not got cheap labour coming from Europe anymore, and with an inability to recruit within those areas, they're going to have to increase their wage offering. So we're going to see people in that demographic having access to higher wages and to credit again, coupled with larger amounts of savings than they've ever had. So I feel that a lot of this will start filtering its way through into apartments over the next few months. And this is why I think it's a great time to be looking at an investment or first-time purchase of an apartment, because whilst the housing market has really increased, apartments haven't, and I feel they're about to for those reasons. And so this is why it's a good time to make that purchase.